Thank you for having me for this talk, and it's been a pleasure being part of Bizztalk event. You know, at Avataar, Abhishek, we started with the vision of bringing 3D spatial depth to visual discovery experiences, as you were also referring to. What this basically means is that we are in the process of upgrading all existing 2D touchpoints that a brand has with its consumers to life-size interactive 3D content. And when I say existing 2D touchpoints, I mean the images and videos that you see online today before making a purchase decision, which we are replacing with life-size 3D using XR, AR, VR as different mediums. That's the vision or the purpose with which we started Avatar. Now, the question may be that why is it even important? Maybe to touch upon that and to touch upon our motivation behind this is when we started out, one thing that we realized is vision, which is 60% of our human sensory perception, is around the 3D world around us. It's everything that you see around you today. But the digital consumption of the visual content has been limited to 2D screens. It's the laptop and mobile screens that we use. Audio, on the other hand, which is only 20% of the sensory perception, have had the benefit of spatial depth for almost a decade now, using technologies like surround sound, noise cancellation, which gives you the feeling of spatial depth while listening to audio. We wanted to bring that same spatial depth to visual discovery experience, and that's where we feel that's a journey that we have set out in terms of redefining the consumer experiences, because the way we discover 3D today, using a handheld device or walking around the product, we feel with variables coming over the course of this decade, this is going to change completely, and we want to be at the forefront of revolutionizing that experience for the end consumer. That's been our journey. If I were to even look back today and kind of give break it down into different phases, I would say we have just ended our act 1 and act 2 is starting. The act 1 itself was broken down into two scenes or two parts, if I could say so. First aspect of our journey was towards the R&D aspect that we built. It's the platform, the proprietary platform that we have today, which was the first focus of our journey. The second scene or the second part of our journey towards the product market fit, and then building a repeatable and recurring business from there on, which we had focused on with all our partners today, as we have gotten here. In the journey, in this whole journey, Abhishek, what I'll say, there have been three key pillars which helps us stand apart vis-a-vis any other player out there globally. The first pillar was photorealism, which is that a platform providing a highly realistic 3D rendition of the products that you see. Second being compression, which makes the experiences bandwidth friendly for the end consumer. Third being interactivity, which allows a consumer to not only interact with the product under consideration by changing colors or seeing how much content, let's say, you can fit inside a refrigerator or a cupboard, but also mixing various multiple products together to create a look and design complete solutions for renovating your living rooms to your outdoor projects and so on and so forth. So I would say that's how our journey has been, and we are kind of primed for blitz scaling from here on, entering into the act 2 of our life cycle. One thing that entrepreneurship definitely teaches you is persistence. So same was our journey at Avataar as well. Now, we were, I don't know whether we were fortunate or not, but we picked up a problem which was ahead of its time. So when we started out Avataar, nobody was talking about AR or metaverse at that point. But as you would understand, in the consumer tech space, for any inflection to happen, hardware and software both has to come together. So we had to work towards making that happen. Now, on the hardware side, we obviously had to rely on the giants in the OEM space to bring that upgrade happen. But while that was happening, we were working towards how can we utilize the existing device capabilities between the CPU and GPU of your mobile devices to bring these experiences to the end consumer. On the software side, as I was earlier saying, we worked a lot towards bringing higher photorealism to the end consumer. Today, the surface properties that our platform provides is the highest at a global stage. We have our proprietary compression algorithms, which takes care of the surface rendition, but brings a much bandwidth friendly uh, file size for the end consumer. A lot of our patents today are in this domain. Most of them granted, few under the normal application process. So we worked around various problems to reach the stage where today we can say that AR metaverse have become the mainstream, as you may have also seen over the course of the last couple of years, where everyone is talking about it, and us becoming more market ready in that sense. One other aspect which we also solved, which was a great learning for us in this journey, Abhishek, was when we started out, we were in-app experiences. Now, when you go in-app, the reach was obviously limited for us to start with. So during the course of this journey, we even evolved our platform to support web browsers, to mobile web, to in-app, as well as to desktop. So today, vis-a-vis any other player out there at a global stage who may have a reach limited to 1.5 billion users, who can experience AR on a mobile device. Our reach is 3.5 billion users, which is more than double of
Wow.
that, because we support laptop to desktop to mobile devices and all different OSs and platforms. So that's another superpower that we built in this journey. It's probably the part which gets us out of the bed, Abhishek, every morning, or sometimes don't even let us sleep at night. So, as we are standing at the cusp of Web 3.0 era, or more commonly called the metaverse era, the opportunity in front of Avataar is similar to what an online commerce player had little over 2 decades back, when Web 2.0 era or the internet era was starting. So the impact that a player like Amazon have created over the last 2 decades is similar to the opportunity or potential that Avataar has in front of it in terms of AR commerce space. That's what really the exciting part of it. While we get into this phase of our journey, the superpower that we have built, the moat that we have built, is the capability to digitize realities. It basically means that creating digital twins of products or incarnating them in the virtual space and helping consumers interact with them, thereby bringing the democratization of 3D product discovery. That's at scale is what Avtar has been focused on. Now, as I was earlier referring to the Act 2 of our life cycle, what we would be focused on is how can we make this non-linear from here on. What this basically means is that we want to traverse a non-linear curve by bringing the power in the hands of both customers and consumers, which is also flows in from the notion of us being a B2B2C company, where we are not only focused on the middle B, which are our partner brands, but also the end C being the consumer. Now, the self-serve platform that we are building now in our Act 2 is primed for blitzscaling, because it's a self-sustaining unit which we can just replicate and bring that non-linearity in our journey. Very good point, Abhishek, because for for a long period of time, right, India has always been considered as a destination for services industry. That's what it has been recognized at. But if you were to look globally today, there's a large proportion of the best minds running tech giants who are from Indian origin, which we all are really proud of. Now, at Avtar, what we focused on was nurturing the homegrown talent and giving them that opportunity to work in a deep tech space, which was unheard of, or to a large extent also unavailable within India to start with. So that was something that we really focused on, and which was one of the reasons that we always stayed as an India incorporated entity. Today we have, again, we were fortunate to have great partners like Tiger Global and Sequoia. But even in this journey, we always stayed as an Indian entity because we wanted to promote the talent at home. Now, our focus, Abhishek, always has been to get the best of the minds, get the best of the talent in each of these space. We don't, we, it was being a deep tech company, it was always good for us that in a sense that we don't need to grow too large to become a very big company. So it wasn't the quantity of talent that we were after, it was only the quality that we really wanted. And the reason for that also was that if you can get a good mind behind and a motivated mind along with that behind any problem, Abhishek, we believe that the problem would eventually get solved. So for us, the journey was finding the best talent and then giving them a right set of problem and motivating them to go on that path to solve that problem. So, and that's how we have been able to solve these various issues which globally others haven't been. And that's the reason we are getting probably the love from our customers and the end consumers in this journey. Uh, so in this journey, I would say self-belief and a bit of foolish optimism. A mix of that could become your greatest strength. So that's what I have at least learned in my own journey. Now, as I was earlier referring to, it's sometimes fine to be ahead of the time in the market, and it's also equally okay to not be the first entrant in your space. Now, if as I was referring for Avataar, we were definitely ahead of time when nobody was talking about AR or metaverse, and we got that space to build the platform in the right manner by the time we are ready for the market and for the platform to go out. If I look at other examples in the industry, Google wasn't the first search platform, search engine which came into the mix. Facebook wasn't the first social media platform which came into the mix. But what I feel is for someone to focus on is building that superpower or understanding that moat that your business could develop and focus on that. And it's very critical because that's what will define your success or failure going forward. You know, so it sometimes we miss that in the overall journey. Somehow, burning cash has become a fashion. People believe in building businesses by burning cash. We build businesses only if it's profitable. So that has been a core focus for us at Avataar, that we build sustainable units to start with. There's, I'm not, I'm in fact very much pro in terms of investing for growth. So that's where you definitely need extra impetus to come in to grow faster. And being in the competitive space we can't take a traditional approach of growing in a linear fashion. So sometimes that jump is definitely needed. I believe no matter how difficult the scenario becomes, just believe in yourself, your idea, and persist with it. Eventually, you will get over the line. So that's how I have seen the journey to be.